There are areas in Boise with dropping home values, so people are choosing to live in the areas that are booming instead. So let's take a look at these areas, why the value of homes and the popularity of these areas are lowering, and where people are choosing to live instead. My name is Brady Fagel, and I am a lifelong Boise local, and I am a real estate agent. I post these videos every week to hopefully help you learn about moving to Idaho. And if you think I do a good enough job, I would love to help you move to Boise. If you find any value, subscribe to the channel to catch every video every week, and then shoot me a text or call anytime if you have any questions. Now let's first look at the areas of Boise that people are choosing to move to. These are areas that are growing in population and are the up and coming hotspots. The home values are going up fast, but there's still room to get in and capitalize on that upswing of home values. And at the end, we'll discuss the areas going downhill and how this all kind of comes together. The first up and coming area is my favorite to talk about, and the suburb of Boise that I call home. It is growing extremely fast. Costco is being built here. Facebook is almost finished with their $800 million data center, and it is quickly catching up with the home prices we see in Meridian and Boise. Kuna, Idaho used to be one of the cheapest suburbs in Boise, and just a few years ago, there used to be almost no stores or restaurants. Now we have a Ridley's, an Albertsons, there's Wendy's, McDonald's, Panda Express, Jersey Mike's, Dairy Queen, Cafe Rio, Arby's, and then a handful of other stores and food places. And then plus there's a Costco I mentioned coming soon, which will be a huge upgrade. Then you factor in all of the new construction homes, and you can just see that everything is booming. It is a suburb that tons of people are moving to, and despite all of that growth, you still get a small town with small town communities and people, the farms and the open spaces, while avoiding the busy roads and commutes that you have in the other parts of Boise. And as Boise has grown, people are searching for smaller family towns, and that puts Kuna at the top of the list of places to live. You will see this trend as we go through every suburb that is booming, and at the end you will see why people are leaving the other areas of Boise. The number 2 suburb is very similar to Kuna. The differences are commute times and then the style. If you want to be in a little bit more bougie area with quicker access to some of the other suburbs in Boise, like Eagle, Idaho, or even Meridian, Idaho, then Star, Idaho is going to be a better option for you and is another booming area of Boise. Star is 10 minutes away from North Meridian, or a 15-minute drive to the Costco in Meridian. The Boise River runs right through town and has its own green belt. A brand new park was just finished along the river called Freedom Park, which has ponds for paddleboarding or swimming. There's frisbee golf, and then there's tons of room to hang out or go swimming in the Boise River. Star has a very similar small town feel to Kuna, and you'll notice American flags on every corner and in most people's front yards. But the price of homes is a bit higher than in Kuna or some of the other areas we will look at. It's about $100,000 higher median home value to be exact, and then you'll spend around $20,000 to $50,000 more when you're purchasing a home in Star versus Kuna that's the same size and square footage. But let's talk about some of the areas in Boise that are falling off, or they're kind of going out of style. As I mentioned, I am a realtor and a Boise local. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to text, call, or email anytime. My goal is to give you information and guidance so that you can make the best decision for you and your family. And even if that means moving somewhere other than Idaho, that might be the best decision for you. So subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on everything moving to Boise. Like keeping up to date on these areas that are going downhill. The first of which is the Boise Bench. This is the original neighborhood of Boise. It is kind of like the OG. You will still find small pockets of homes here that are popular areas to live, especially some of the modern mid-century homes that have been renovated. And then there's a bunch of $1 million homes that are overlooking downtown Boise. But as a whole, it is trending down. There are safety concerns here. There's a lot of rundown areas, and it has a ton of college rentals. If you have ever been to an older part of a city with those small side streets and there's mobile homes next to renovated houses, next to rundown homes that are from the 80s, and it doesn't have much of a cohesive neighborhood feel. That is what the Boise Bench is like. There are some people that love it here, but as a whole, it's past its prime and on the downtrend, kind of like a Klay Thompson for those of you that follow basketball. And then the next area is going to be West Boise. This is in between Meridian and the Boise Bench, which we just talked about. And our Boise Town Square Mall is here. This is actually a great mall, and it's much nicer than other malls across the country. West Boise is, honestly, it's in a really great location, and it's very affordable compared to other areas in Boise. But much like the Boise Bench, it has older homes. There's small side streets with the mobile home parks and the mixed use real estate that I talked about earlier. And if you watch the video on the most dangerous places in Boise, this is an area I talk about a lot. And Fairview Road, that runs through West Boise, lights up with markers in every crime category. There are also tons of renters. There's older strip malls, and then there's just an overall kind of rundown feel. The next downward trending area is Meridian, Idaho, the most popular suburb in Boise by far, but I am talking specifically about the central part of Meridian. This is roughly from Cherry Lane Road to the interstate, and then from 10 Mile to Locust Grove. It's the oldest part of Meridian, so you have a lot of older rundown homes. It is the least safe area of Meridian, which honestly isn't really saying much because Meridian is so safe, but it is still heading in that downhill direction. If you're moving to Meridian, this is the last place you would try and live if you could choose, especially when you have up and coming areas in North and South Meridian that offer a lot better amenities and places to live. You might save a little more money in Central Meridian, but you can get a much nicer, newer home in North Nampa or Kuna for the same exact price. And the only downside to choosing Kuna or Nampa over Central Meridian would be an extra 5 to 10 minute drive into Boise. Now, this is all great to know, but you might want to make sure you fit into Boise first, because sometimes there are major deal breakers that make Boise a place you just won't belong. So watch this video here to make sure you are going to fit into the culture and the things that come with living in Boise. Thank you guys for watching. I look forward to meeting you.